welcome to the next episode of the Naria Lemaire Show. I'm so excited to bring this next episode. Now, for those of you who are new, welcome. And I'm your host. I'm a registered dietitian who focuses on weight management, gut health, and overall wellness. And I'm so excited to bring this episode. I want to talk today about the influence we have on our family, on our kids, our parents, our friends. So let's get into it. Now, as a child, and if you've been watching my episodes, you already know we're gonna start with a quick little story. Now, as a kid, I remember watching the people who I looked up to, and I'm thinking, what do you eat? How do you live? How do you act? How do you treat people? And thinking, okay, that's normal. That's how I should do it. That's part of, whatever life I want, because I'm looking up to this person. Or, just people who you're around too, right? Your parents, your aunties, your uncles. What kind of person are they, and how you mimic those behaviors and how you adopt a lot of them. Of course, as we get older, we decide which ones are healthy, which ones we should add, which we should continue, and which ones we shouldn't. But when it comes to health, you can't force anyone to do it. You have to practice it yourself. As a mom, I never forced my kids to work out. I never forced them to eat certain things. I never forced them or encourage them to say, I encourage them, of course, in a positive way, but I never forced them to do anything. Now, I have all of this workout equipment in my living room, but I never force them to do it. Now, because I'm always active and I'm always doing these things here and there, they'll pop in there and do some push-ups, they'll do some pull-ups, they'll use the treadmill. Sometimes I will encourage them a little bit more to do some activity, like in the summer, and maybe they're not doing so much. But it's not like, you have to do this, you have to do this. I don't want them to resent something that's supposed to bring joy. I want them to enjoy doing the physical activity. And more importantly, I want them to do things they enjoy. But for me, I do things that I enjoy. So if you know what I'm doing, I'm usually doing strength training. I'm usually doing, I'll do yoga here and there. I'll do, of course, some cardiovascular because, we have to do that too, but it's not something I do day to day. I'll walk, I'll always have my walking goal, but I'll do a HIIT here and there. I'll use my treadmill here and there, but most of what you'll find me do is strength training, because that's what I do. I enjoy doing that. I love to paddleboard, so you'll find me paddleboarding. These are things I enjoy to do. I don't even think of them as working out. Sometimes I'll go paddleboarding for 2-3 hours, then I'll go home and think, okay, what workout should I do? And then my husband's like, weren't you just paddleboarding for 3 hours? Like, what are you talking about? I love to do these things. It's fun. I'm from San Diego. It's always nice and sunny. So these activities are just fun to do. It relaxes your soul. It's just like so calm and so soothing to go out there and just paddleboard. It's fun. It's fun to do these things. But the influence it has is I don't force my kids to do these, but they watch me. They watch my behaviors. Kids are watchers. We already know that. Kids are watchers. If you're a parent, you already know this. Kids are watchers. They don't listen, or they don't do often what we tell them to, but they will adopt the habits. They'll adopt our personalities. They'll adopt our behaviors more than anything, right? They'll say like, okay, how do you defend yourself? Okay, that's how I do it. How do you treat other people? Again, okay, that's how I'm going to do it. Who our kids are, a lot of it has to do with what they see at home. Of course, they go through teenage years and then they get all those other influences, and the world will just do that. But the best you can do is do the behaviors you want them to do, period. You do it. If you want them to be respectful to people, you respect people. If you want them to eat healthy, you eat healthy. If you want them to be active, you be active. You can't say you should be respectful, you should eat healthy, you should do this, you should do this, and then at home you're just sitting there not doing any of these behaviors. That's not how it works. If you want to have that positive influence on your family, on your kids in regards to health, you have to do it. I'm not saying, and do not get this wrong, I am not saying that if you are active, you're healthy, your kids will 100% adopt it. That is definitely not. And if you're a parent, you already know. You already know sometimes they adopt these things and sometimes they don't. You can have two kids that are totally different. Even myself and my brother. I have a brother and we are totally different. We have very different personalities, very different lifestyles. You wouldn't even think we were raised by the same mom sometimes. we're very different. I'm very active. I do a lot of healthy eating. I do a lot of these random activities like the paddleboarding. I love to travel. My brother, you'll never find him traveling. Never. He'll walk his dog now, of course, because he loves his dog, and like, of course, she's so adorable. But in regards to other things, it's something that we're just very different. But you do want to have some type of effect by being that person you want them to be. And even your parents, that's a big one. I work with so many individuals my age that adopt these behaviors because they want to teach their parents. I can't tell you how many times I have someone about my age, maybe 30s to 40s, and they say, hey, I really need to change my lifestyle. I want my mom to get healthier. I want my dad to get healthier. Or I want my auntie, my uncles, I want them to get healthier. So I need to do these changes. So much. It's not always going to be the kids. It's going to be, again, our family. But before you start to encourage someone to do something, it's so important for you to do it before them, for them to see. And not only you eating healthier and working out, but what effect is it having? Are you in a better mood? Are your labs improving? Like, what's happening here that's gonna say, hey, I should do it too? There's always gonna have to be a reason, a pusher, a motivator. But a lot of the times it's gonna start with you. And if you're listening to this episode, it lets me know that you wanna put your health first. You wanna have a positive influence on those people around you. But I wanna encourage you, especially for newer parents, or again, kids that wanna influence their parents. You can't force them to do anything. Even myself, I try to encourage my mom to do so much. It's very difficult, but I've gotten to the point years ago that I know I can't force her into it. I can have all the stuff in my house. I can have all the food in my house that's healthy, and I can't force her to do anything. I will tell you, years, let's say over 10 years now of doing what I do, she hasn't adopted so much of physical activity, so I'm still kind of encouraging that. I have stuff in my house, and I told her, hey, it's free, just hop on. You can use it anytime. It's always available. But she's adopted some changes in her eating habits. It's taken years to do this. Now, one of the biggest ones was rice. Now, I grew up on Mexican rice. So it's like white rice, you kind of fry it and put the tomato sauce and do all that good stuff. But I wanted her to start to add more fiber in her diet. Guys, if you already know me, you know I'm all about fiber. Like, what's gonna have fiber? What can we add? And for the longest time, she's like, I'm not gonna have that brown rice. It's disgusting. And I'm thinking, okay, but like, let's see what we could do. And gradually easing her into more whole wheat products. How I started was, hey, cook half white rice, half brown rice, and on the plate just mix it together so it doesn't have so much of that grainy flavor. And I started to do that for a long while. And now she'll eat brown rice like it's nothing. She'll still have a lot of white rice, which is fine because we already know all in moderation. But I really encourage people to meet their fiber goals. And if you're having a lot of white products, it could make it difficult to meet that fiber goal. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. Definitely not. We already know we're going to find fiber in a lot of other products. But having products that already have fiber in it makes it easier to reach that 30 or 40 grams a day goal. And we want to have fiber with more real food. So I've encouraged her to do some things, and now she cooks a lot of lower fat products. She gets lower fat everything, more whole grains, more fruits and veggies. So hey, a win's a win, right? A win's a win. I'm winning in my mind. These are changes that she started to adopt after, encouraging her to do it for the longest time. My goal for the last few years has been to get her to do some physical activity. It's been very difficult, but again, you can't force anyone. You can just encourage them. She knows I'm going to be active, usually after my meetings, after my sessions, in the afternoon, or sometimes in the morning, before my sessions, in between. I'm going to squeeze some activity in there. It's so important to me, and it's really become who I am. Sometimes if have you heard of the stages of change? Let me just go back to that. Now, for me, where I'm at now, I almost can't imagine going back to not being active. But a lot of my years of not being active was because I couldn't be active. And I legit couldn't. And I'm always talking about making solutions. But guys, I really couldn't be active because of all the surgeries I had as a kid. So one of the pictures I just recently posted was me on a crutch. I had crutches. And you could see there that I had the crutches and how overweight I was. I really couldn't do anything. I would just plant it all day, just watching TV, just eating all day. So knowing that life of not being active and how you feel, it's just something I never want to go back to. I never want to go back to it. Now I'm able to do stuff. I'm able to walk. I'm able to run. I'm able to go out. Like, why not? But you have to really become that person. And as you become that person and your family sees those changes, they start to want to adopt some of those too. But it's important that you don't push them, you don't force them, you don't shame them into this. And I know sometimes it's very easy to just shame someone into doing something. Hey, the doctor just told you you're diabetic and you're still doing this. Or the doctor told you this and you're still doing this. That's an easier route to go. And I get it, guys. Trust me, I have family that's very stubborn too. But we can't force them that way. It's just, you have to be very gentle. Even think about yourself. Anytime something that was hard and you had to change, were you pushed into it in that way? Or were you kind of gently reminded, like what made you change? Yes, we're all different. Some of us love that tough love. Sometimes I give tough love to my clients and my clients are like, Naria, but like, hey, what about this? Dude, amazing, love it, but we could do better. So if you're my client, you already know you get some tough love here and there, but I love you 100%. You're doing amazing, you're doing great. But I always want people to continue growing and growing. By the time my clients are done with me, I want them to have a very clear path of what they need to do. I don't want them to be confused. I don't want them to go back on Google and how should I do this and how should I do that? Is this healthy? Is that healthy? Good food, bad food? All that. No. None of that stuff. We only live once. We shouldn't be stressed about this stuff. Being healthy is really going back to the basics. That's what I always tell people. Being healthy, as much as I learn and I continue to learn and look at the more research, and as much as I learn, I feel I don't know nothing. It's crazy because I've been in this game for the longest time, friends. After finishing, my curriculum to be a dietitian, getting my master's degree, continuing all this, and I can tell you there's always something to learn. But the conclusion I always come with, even the research that I look at, is you have to go back to the basics. You have to go back to the basics of stress management, sleep patterns, healthy diet, and physical activity. Period. Done. Bye. You have to become that person that's doing all of these things, that's enjoying to do all these things. You reap the benefits, friends. When you start to work out, it's an automatic mood and freaking enhancer. You see these videos like on TikTok, and it's funny because they're so true. They say, hey, the days I don't work out, just this grumpy, just person, and then the days you do work out, just like so excited. It's true. If you're having a tough day at work, a tough day at home, tough day in life, work out. Friends, I promise it's gonna help your mood. I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna remove your problems, no, but it'll definitely give you a clear mind. When in life we're gonna have difficult situations, but we wanna go into solution creating mode with a clear mind, as clear as possible. So if you're looking to influence your kids, your mom, your dad, your aunties, your cousins, whoever, you have to begin by doing these things. And you have to show them why it's good. You can't work out and all mad and I don't want to work out. Even though I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to work out. But I work out and after it's just like, okay, I'm happy again. Sorry. I was just like, not hangry because it wasn't hunger. It was like, what would you call it? Workoutery? Nah. Anyways, if you come up with the word, let me know because I'm interested. So friends, today I encourage you to be a positive influence on those around you, even your coworkers. I remember when I started walking years ago, I would always ask my coworkers, 90% of the time, everyone would say no. But me being consistent with it now is just who I am. During after I eat my lunch, sometimes after my breakfast, I just go out on walks. It's just what I do now. It's part of what I do. But it took me years to do it. I used to love to go walk with my coworkers when I had some. But hey, if you catch me during lunch hours and you see me walking, join me because I'm going to be walking probably for 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm going to be walking for a little bit, get some sun. If it's dark, that's fine. Get your umbrella. Just get out and walk. No excuses if it's too cold, it's too hot, it's too windy, it's too, none of that stuff. Just get your butt out and walk, okay? You'll be fine. If it's hot, take a shower. If it's cold, wear a jacket. If it's raining, get an umbrella. Solutions, friends. We have to create solutions, not reasons why not to do it. There's always going to be a reason not to, but I want you to come up with reasons why you should do this for those around you, for your kids, for your future kids, for your family, for whoever, for yourself. The biggest promises you can keep, the most important ones, are for yourself. That is 100%. So friends, comment below. Tell me who you want to influence. Are they your kids? Are they your parents? Are they your cousins? And what have you been doing to do it? Have you been pushy? Have you been forceful? Have you been shameful? Or have you been adopting these habits that you want to gently teach them? They have to know the positive side of these things, right? Not just the, hey, you have to wake up earlier, you have to meal prep, you have to do these. Yeah, it's not the funnest thing to spend 2 hours out of a day that maybe you're off to meal prep, but the weak version of yourself will be so grateful of it. It's not always butterflies and rainbows, but I'm gonna tell you 100% worth it. So comment below, let me know, and until next time, bye friends. And don't forget to subscribe.